Hello everyone, I'm Profi1322 and in this video I'm going to be showing the fastest Pegasus vehicles around a circuit. This is a special edition spin-off video within my usual testing series to give an alternative view on some of these vehicles with different categorizations. If you want to know how all cars perform in a variety of different classes and formats, check the annotation on the screen or the link in the description for the full playlist of videos, and of course feel free to subscribe for future updates. So this is only the fastest Pegasus land vehicles. The reason that I'm doing that is because basically if it wasn't just the land vehicles, this list would be completely dominated by planes. So if you do want to know what technically the fastest Pegasus vehicles are, you need to watch the planes video that will pretty much show it in full. I will leave a link to that at the end of the video as well, of course, but yeah, the top 10 would have all been planes, so there was no point in me doing that. So I've instead decided to restrict it to only land vehicles, only things that you can drive on the road. So first up, obviously we had the Mule there. That was the armoured version with a 1 minute 44. That's actually the version that you can use in van races, and also the one that's used in heists. You've got the other Mule as well, which you can find just randomly on the streets of Los Santos with the different company logos on. That's actually a little bit slower, but the Mule's in 10th place for the fastest Pegasus vehicles, and then in 9th place, a good 15 seconds ahead of it per lap, is the Brigade. Brigade's actually not too bad, and it's not too shabby. 1:29, not too bad of a lap time considering how big of a vehicle it is. So in 8th place we've got the Stretch, and that's only 1 second quicker than the Brigade with a 1:27.1. This is pretty low down in the sedans class. Just to point out that the Mule obviously in the commercial vehicles class and the Brigade was in the services class. Now we've got the Stretch, which is in the sedans class. You can't actually use any of these apart from a small number in a racing situation, and you can't upgrade them either, obviously, because they are Pegasus vehicles. But it's just an interesting way to look at it because, you know, Pegasus vehicles in particular, once you have them you can't get rid of them. So maybe it's interesting to know which are the quickest, and in a jam, if you need to call a Pegasus vehicle, you'll know which ones are the quickest. But I think just in general, it's interesting to have a different look at some of these vehicles. I know that these videos sometimes get a little bit of complaints because they're the same old thing. But people do enjoy them, and I enjoy making them and looking at these vehicles in different ways. Obviously, we had the Crusader there. That can actually be used in SUV races, but it is technically in the military vehicles class, and it is the quickest in that class as well with a 1:26 lap time. And then we take a big jump in lap time with the Technical with a 1 minute 20. This is in 6th place, and we've got quite a small gap between the next 5 vehicles. From 6th place all the way to 2nd, we've only got a gap of about 2 seconds per lap. So a lot of vehicles coming in close proximity now. Obviously the Technical there in 6th place. Then we've got the turreted limo in 5th place, the 23rd best sedan in the game, a 120.9. These vehicles aren't too bad, you know. They're not obviously on the pace of the very top supercars, for example, or very top sports cars, but they're not that slow, and considering that they aren't upgraded, you know, they can't be upgraded because they're Pegasus vehicles, they're reasonably okay in terms of lap time. Next up we've got the Insurgent pickup. This is the one with the turret on it. Obviously the regular Insurgent isn't a Pegasus vehicle that you can store in your garage. This is the turreted version, and this is the quickest of the turreted vehicles that we have. Obviously we've just seen the 3 of them there, the Technical, the turreted limo and the Insurgent pickup. They're all very similar in terms of lap time as you've seen, so either one of them works, and obviously you get a big gun on them. Obviously the Insurgent pickup, you can actually carry 9 people in that, so that's that's something to think about there, whereas the turreted limo you can only have 4 people in there, and the Technical is only for 3 people. So yeah, just something to keep in mind, but they are all very close in terms of lap time. And next up in 3rd place, we're into the top 3 now. We've got the Marshall with a 119.4. This is not that much quicker than what we've just seen. Like I said, we're in close proximity in terms of lap time between all of these. The Marshall is a bit tricky to handle, I would say, in terms of getting it around a track, and that would be the same for our 2nd place vehicle, which you can probably already guess what that is. That's also very close in terms of lap time to the Marshall, both in the off-roads class, and I would say that the off-roads class has dominated this list more so than anything else. Obviously we had the Marshall, now we've got the Liberator, very close in lap time. They're pretty much identical in most regular racing situations. You know, that tiny bit of lap time difference isn't going to make it much of a difference, but obviously in my testing I did find the Liberator to be less than a second quicker per lap. But that is only the second best vehicle. We've got the best vehicle still to come, and it's actually a very new vehicle to the game with one of the most recent updates. Just to point out that I am going to be releasing a video, because people are asking for this quite a bit, about the stock vehicles and the best stock vehicles for every single class. I'm going to be releasing a video for that. I'm just, obviously it takes time, I'm working through it, I'm doing other things in the background as well, but just so you know, that is going to be coming. But the quickest Pegasus vehicle in the game, land vehicle that is the Dune, the brand new Dune that was released to the game. It can be used in off-road races, but it is technically in the services class, and it is the quickest service vehicle in the game, beating out the Taxi, which used to be the quickest service vehicle. The Dune is a very, very interesting one, because obviously that 1:16.6 lap time it gets is not too bad at all. You know, that's reasonably quick, especially for such a huge vehicle like this. And when you consider that it's beating things like the Technical and the turreted limo and the Insurgent pickup, and it's not too far off the regular Insurgent, which is fully upgraded, for example. The Dune is actually really powerful. It's got good acceleration, it's actually got really good traction as well. The thing that you have to be careful with it is when you're turning, because it has a tendency to roll over. Obviously, because it's so high, it's got a lot of power, and when you put that acceleration on, it will roll over. But you don't need to purchase one of these to be able to use them in a race. If you want to, say, for example, create a race in particular, we had one recently on my channel that I'll link at the end as well, but we had one recently where we raced all in Dunes. People don't need to buy the Dune for you to be able to use it in a race. You can use it in off-road races, but there you go. You know, if you want the quickest Pegasus land vehicle, that is the Dune, and it does have a high price tag, but it is pretty quick. So yeah, those are the quickest Pegasus land vehicles in the game. I hope you enjoyed the video. We got a lot more stuff to come very shortly, in particular, like I mentioned, the stock vehicles. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this different look at some of these vehicles, and thank you so much for watching and so much for all the support as always, and I'll see you next time.